Yeah, I'm going to do a recipe, and it's my own variation of cooking yellow squash. This is called Homestead baked yellow squash. Stay tuned. Give you an idea of what to do with these things that you get out of your garden. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is the Dude in the Kitchen series. And today I'm going to be making my Homestead yellow squash, baked yellow squash. So let's get started. We're starting out with 3 pounds of yellow squash. And those 2 pieces right there are 3 pounds. I'm going to preheat my oven bake to 375. Place a covered saucepan full of water. I got it about half full. And then turn it on high because we're going to boil the water. And while that water is heating up, I'm going to cut this into cubes. And we're going to cover it and let it sit there and boil and cook for 10 minutes. While that water's boiling and cooking that squash, I'm going to get a half a cup of onion right out of my garden. Yep, fresh out of the garden, harvested yesterday. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to save this onion for something different later. Three-quarter cup exactly. Now reserve some of that oat bran for sprinkling over the top to use later on in the recipe. We need 2 large eggs, 1/2 cup of melted butter, 1 tablespoon of honey. Now this honey I got from my bees. I just harvested this about 2 weeks ago. So this is the sweetener that goes in it. And then 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then a full teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use kosher salt. Now we get our melted butter out. Yes. Get a mixing bowl ready with a masher because you're going to be mashing the squash into chunks. We're still waiting for the squash to cook. And while that's cooking, I'm going to get my 2-quart cast iron skillet ready and oiled with olive oil. Squash is just now starting to boil. So I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. And while we're waiting for that to cook, in here I'm going to put in 1/4 cup of butter, about half the ingredients, the 2 eggs, the onions, one teaspoon of salt, one half teaspoon of the ground black pepper, and the 1 tablespoon of honey. And mix it. Okay, turn the heat off and drain well. Place them in a mixing bowl and mush to where it's kind of chunky. Okay, stir in our combination of the oat bran, honey, egg, sugar, or honey, salt, and pepper. Make sure it's well incorporated. And distribute it in the cast iron pan. Ooh, that's hot, 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 hot. You can use a 2-quart casserole dish to bake this in too if you wish. I love cast iron. This is what I do on the homestead. I cook almost everything in the cast iron. Not done yet, folks. We're going to drizzle the remaining butter over the top of it. And sprinkle that oat bran over the top of that we set aside earlier. And now my preheated oven of 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. We're going to set that in there and bake it for 1 hour. Okay, it's been an hour and time to turn this off. Timer off, clear, off. Okay. We'll take our squash casserole out of the oven. There you have it, Homestead baked yellow squash casserole. Yes. Okay, I'll let it cool down and then we'll do that taste test. Yes, we'll be back in a video second. Homestead baked yellow squash casserole. Yes. Okay, it's now time for a taste test. It's cooled down enough. Now, this is my own recipe. I'll go ahead and leave the recipe instructions down below. And I'll go ahead and leave it right here. The squash is nice and tender. I love the flavor of the onions in there because they were rendered down also. And it's just got the right consistency and it's got a good flavor between the squash, and I love yellow squash, and the butter that's in there, just enough salt and pepper, and the oat bran. Now, if you don't like oat bran, you can use breadcrumbs as a substitute for oat bran. Well, that concludes this episode of Dude in the Kitchen, making cast iron skillet Homestead summer squash casserole. Enjoy. I am. It's good. Remember, give me a thumbs up, like the show if you like it, leave a comment if you will. Share my videos on your social media platforms, helps us out. And it also helps grow the channel also. Stay tuned to more videos. We'll see you guys in my next adventure. Bye-bye now.